In the early 20th century, a world dominated by tradition and strict gender expectations, a young girl from Kansas dared to dream of a life above the clouds. Amelia Mary Earhart, born on July 24, 1897, in Atchison, Kansas, was no ordinary child. From the very beginning, her eyes sparkled with the fire of rebellion and a thirst for adventure. Little did the world know that this fearless girl would one day vanish into thin air, leaving behind a mystery that has puzzled humanity for nearly a century. Amelia's childhood was far from idyllic. Her father, Edwin Earhart, battled alcoholism, and the family faced relentless financial instability. But even as life threw its challenges, young Amelia refused to bow to societal norms. While other girls played with dolls, Amelia built ramps for her homemade wooden sled, thrilling herself with the rush of speed. She climbed trees, hunted rats with a rifle, and collected scrap metal like a budding engineer. These weren't the hobbies of a future homemaker. They were the early signs of an unstoppable aviator. Amelia's first encounter with aviation came in 1920, when her father took her to an air show in Long Beach, California. It was a moment that would change her life forever. Standing on the dusty airfield, she watched a biplane take off, its engine roaring like a beast unleashed. The pilot offered her a ride, and as the plane soared into the sky, Amelia felt a sensation she had never known. A mix of freedom, exhilaration, and destiny. In her own words, "As soon as we left the ground, I knew I myself had to fly." That single flight ignited a passion that would burn in her heart for the rest of her life. But the road to becoming a pilot was anything but smooth. In the 1920s, women were not encouraged to pursue aviation. Flying was considered a man's domain, dangerous, demanding, and entirely unsuitable for women. But Amelia was undeterred. She saved every penny she earned as a social worker, cutting back on luxuries and even skipping meals to afford flying lessons. Her determination was unshakable, and it was only the beginning of a journey that would defy expectations and make history. Under the guidance of her first instructor, Netta Snook, one of the few female pilots of the time, Amelia began her daring journey into the skies. In 1921, she purchased her first plane, a bright yellow Kinner Airster, which she lovingly called the Canary. It was with this little plane that Amelia achieved her first major milestone, soaring to an altitude of 14,000 feet, the highest ever reached by a woman pilot at the time. But Amelia wasn't just breaking records. She was breaking barriers. In a world that constantly told women to stay grounded, she dared to rise. Her unwavering confidence, tomboyish charm, and cropped haircut made her a media sensation. She wasn't just flying planes. She was inspiring women everywhere to dream beyond the confines of societal norms. Her big break came in 1928 when she was invited to become the first woman to fly across the Atlantic. Though she participated as a passenger on that historic flight, the accomplishment catapulted her into international stardom. Newspapers crowned her Lady Lindy, drawing comparisons to Charles Lindbergh, the first man to fly solo across the Atlantic. But Amelia wasn't content with being a passenger. She wanted to be in command. This was just the beginning of a journey that would redefine the possibilities for women in aviation. In 1932, Amelia Earhart accomplished what many believed to be impossible. She became the first woman to fly solo across the vast and unforgiving Atlantic Ocean, battling icy winds that clawed at her aircraft, mechanical failures that threatened to bring her down, and sheer exhaustion that weighed on her every moment. She piloted her red Lockheed Vega from Newfoundland, Canada, to a quiet pasture in Ireland. For nearly 15 grueling hours, she defied the odds. And when she finally landed, she had no idea she had just carved her name into the pages of history. The world erupted in celebration. President Herbert Hoover presented her with the Distinguished Flying Cross, and her name became a symbol of courage and determination in every household. But for Amelia, it was never about the accolades or the fame. She once said with conviction, "Women must try to do things as men have tried. When they fail, their failure must be a challenge to others." Her journey was more than a flight. It was a statement, a testament to what humanity, and women especially, could achieve when they dared to reach for the skies. Amelia's achievements were far more than personal milestones. They were a bold challenge to the entrenched norms of her time. She used her fame as a platform to champion gender equality, urging women to step into fields dominated by men, especially aviation. In 1931, she became the first president of the 99s, an organization dedicated to empowering female pilots. Her speeches and writings ignited a spark in countless women, showing them that even the most impossible dreams could be pursued and achieved. Yet Amelia's relentless ambition came with a cost. Her marriage to George Putnam, a successful publisher and publicist, was anything but conventional for the era. From the very beginning, she set clear boundaries, writing to George with striking honesty. "I want you to understand that I shall not hold you to any medieval code of faithfulness to me, nor shall I consider myself bound to you similarly." George not only accepted her terms, but became her staunchest supporter. Together, they meticulously planned her daring flights, managed her public image, and secured the resources needed to bring her dreams to life. Their partnership was not just a marriage, it was a collaboration rooted in mutual respect and a shared belief in Amelia's extraordinary vision. By the mid-1930s, Amelia Earhart had achieved nearly everything a pilot could aspire to. But for Amelia, it was never enough. She dreamed of a feat no one, man or woman, had ever accomplished: to circumnavigate the globe along the longest route, following the equator. It was an audacious plan that demanded months of preparation, an advanced aircraft, and flawless precision. She chose a Lockheed Electra, aptly named her Flying Laboratory, as the vessel for this daring journey. Her first attempt in March 1937 ended in heartbreak when the Electra was damaged during takeoff in Hawaii. Yet, Amelia was undeterred. With her steadfast navigator Fred Noonan, she prepared for a second attempt. On May 20th, 1937, they soared into the sky from Oakland, California, embarking on a monumental 29,000-mile journey that would span continents, oceans, and uncharted territories. As the days turned into weeks, Amelia and Fred crossed milestone after milestone, conquering the skies above South America, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. On June 29, 1937, they reached Lae, New Guinea. By then, they had traversed 22,000 miles, leaving just 7,000 miles between them and their dream. Their next challenge was Howland Island, a minuscule dot in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. On July 2, 1937, they took off for the final stretch of their journey. But as they approached their target, something went catastrophically wrong. In the endless blue of the Pacific, their voices faded into static, and the world would never see Amelia Earhart again. The U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca was stationed near Howland Island, ready to guide Amelia Earhart's Lockheed Electra to safety. But communication between the plane and the ship was erratic at best. Radio signals were faint, the plane's navigation appeared to be off course, and the tension in the air was palpable. At 7:42 a.m. on July 2, 1937, Amelia's voice crackled over the radio one final time. "We are on the line 157 to 337. We are running north and south." Those haunting words would be her last. Despite an exhaustive search involving dozens of ships and aircraft, no trace of Amelia, her navigator Fred Noonan, or the Electra was ever found. It was as though they had vanished into thin air, leaving the world stunned and searching for answers. How could one of the most celebrated aviators of the time simply disappear without a trace? In the decades since, countless theories have emerged. Some believe the plane ran out of fuel and crashed into the vast, unforgiving Pacific Ocean. Others speculate that they may have landed on a remote island, surviving as castaways until the end. More outlandish theories suggest they were captured by the Japanese, or that Amelia secretly lived out her days under an assumed identity. Yet, despite decades of investigation and speculation, the mystery remains unsolved. Perhaps that's fitting for a woman who lived her life on the edge of the unknown, embracing challenges most would never dare attempt. As Amelia once said, "Adventure is worthwhile in itself." Though her final adventure ended in tragedy, it forever cemented her legacy as a fearless pioneer and a symbol of human courage. Amelia Earhart's disappearance has not diminished her achievements. Instead, it has amplified her legend. Her story continues to inspire generations of dreamers, adventurers, and rebels who dare to challenge the status quo. She proved that boundaries, whether of geography, gender, or imagination, are meant to be broken. Her life, though tragically cut short, remains a testament to resilience, courage, and the relentless pursuit of dreams. Even now, as humanity looks to the stars and beyond, Amelia's legacy soars alongside our loftiest aspirations. As she once said, "The most effective way to do it is to do it." We hope you enjoyed this story of a woman who defied gravity, tradition, and fear. If Amelia's story inspired you, remember to chase your own dreams fearlessly. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with another incredible tale of courage and ambition.